Hi darlings, thank you for joining me for another tea time. If you are new to tea time, this is basically having a cup of tea, chit-chatting over topics that I think are affecting most of us. And today I want to talk more about what life has been like since my divorce. My divorce has been finalized for a year, and I feel like I've had a little conversation about this, but I just want to open up a little more. I feel more healed in this category. I think some of the things that I've encountered might be helpful for someone else. So before we do that, we're going to prepare our tea together. And today I need a little kick in the ass because it's like late morning, early afternoon here in LA, and I'm still dragging. So today I'm gonna have Earl Grey from Harney & Sons. I didn't say this is like peak quality. It's really nice quality, but it's not like the best of the best. And the sachets are quite small, but it's the perfect amount. And I really do like the floral bouquet in this Earl Grey. I'm just gonna put my water in. So anyway, babes, divorce is over. I've been living apart from my ex-husband for a little more than 3 years. Life is completely different. And I just wanna, like I said, chit chat about that, share a little insight on what that looks like for myself and how I am thriving and doing. Anyway, I need a splash of milk for my tea, so hang on. Okay, so let's sit down. So darlings, it has been a year since I've been divorced, but it's been a little more than 3 years since I left my ex-husband. There's a timeline right there. And in that time, I've had a lot of space to process and discover some new things about myself and really leaning into a new person almost. It feels kind of like a new person. And I say that because this is a season of me choosing things that make me happy. My daughters are 29 and 23. For the first time in my life, feel like I can make decisions based on what, I don't want to say it's like only what can make me happy, but what allows me to feel fulfilled and valued and loved and respected. I am able to make choices free of guilt and regret and burdens. That it just is a very freeing time of life for me. I know to the outside world, I kind of present as, she's got her shit together. She has her life together. She's got beautiful daughters. All the things just seem so aligned and wonderful. And while those things are true, and I did live in a really beautiful home and cultivated a very comfortable life with my ex-husband, I feel like every day I was putting on my battle armor, and that's what you saw. You saw a woman who is fighting to have control over something in her life. What can I control? I can show up and look good. I can do my hair. I can do my makeup. I also at the time was working as a private flight attendant. And so that is a world of presentation, and I had to show up with like on ready to go and kind of compartmentalizing any other issues that were going on in my life. Like I've spent a lifetime of cultivating that habit. And so, you know, it's just something I slip into very easily. But this conversation is about the vulnerable side of me, not the side of me that has been hiding behind the uniform and the facade of what I have to present to the world so that I'm able to bring the stability and security and safety to my daughters and to myself. I think a lot of times we can be in relationships for quite a long time. On the outside, you have the things that are presenting as safe and secure and stable, but inside you're anything but. And I see you, I know what it feels like to live that. You know, you develop these habits that get you through the moment, through the day, which then turns into years. And as that is unfolding, you're getting older, your children are getting older. In my case, you're less and less happy personally. There's other successes that you're seeing with your children and milestones that are happening, but something inside of you is not satisfied. Something inside of you is depleted and struggling. You're just surviving. Not to get into like the nitty gritty of my marriage or anything like that. I was living in a situation where someone else was determining how my day was gonna go. Having that dynamic in your marriage, let alone in your house, it's so exhausting. And just not knowing, is today going to be a good day? Is today going to be tumultuous? Is today going to be helter-skelter, highs and lows? It's no way to live. And after many years of that, 8, 9, 10 years of that, it just got to be too much. I had to make a choice. My daughters, they're adults. I phased out of being a flight attendant and I was working full-time as a content creator. I had a lot of things in place that allowed me the courage to step up and say, this is not the life that I want for myself, and to actually take action and to move and act on those unpleasant, unhappy feelings and dynamics in the house. It's very, very nuanced. I don't even know if I'm doing an adequate job of describing. Some of these things are so complicated to describe if you haven't lived in that type of situation. When you get to the other side and you really put in the work to heal and to make progress for yourself, things become a lot clearer. You have to remove yourself from a situation sometimes to really get the clarity. I've got the clarity. It is crystal clear. I don't know another way to say it. I feel like I needed a fortifying sip of tea there. I can feel like my emotions twittering. This person that I divorced is not the baby daddy. I don't have children with my ex-husband. That was a different relationship. Honestly, leaving that relationship was definitely the hardest thing in my life. We weren't married, but we were together for 12 years. If you don't know my history, I had my first daughter when I was 18. And so it was a very hard break because I was leaving behind family and I was entering into a world of unknown. At that place in my life, I didn't have no home, no car, no job. Like there was a lot of things that were not optimum, but I did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. And I got through it. Moving forward, now talking about a divorce. It's not a relationship that I necessarily want it to end. You're married, you want to make it work. You're fighting to make it work. You're doing all the things. You're doing the therapy. You're trying to have open communication. As you are putting one foot in front of the other to try and make a relationship work, time is unfolding. Kids are getting older, you're getting older, changing careers, perhaps you're moving. There's lots of things that happen in a relationship. The one thing that is constant is time is moving forward. Something I learned in my first relationship with the girl's father is I felt very much like I was dealing with a bully, as someone is trying to use every single thing as leverage to keep me there, to keep me in my place, be it financial, emotional, children, just anything that will keep you vulnerable, scared, and stuck. And compliant, basically, is how I felt and how I see it. I don't know another way to describe it. That's why that relationship and breaking away from that relationship was incredibly scary. I was always fearful that he would make good on the threats of taking the kids away from me. How was I going to afford these things that children need, like medical insurance and paying for school and all the things that was so huge, so out of the scope of my ability to even fathom how I was going to do these things. I said to myself, I cannot stay. This is truly unhealthy for myself. It's not healthy for the girls to see me like this. This is just not good. All those things, all that fear, all of that was holding me back, keeping me there. I mean, I felt as if I had a boot on my neck every day. And I don't think that feeling left until I decided to sue for custody of my daughters. Even in that, the magnitude of having to take someone to court, how do I get the legal support? And I barely had money for anything. I was stressed on the parking fees. Nevertheless, I got legal aid support, which was free, but you had to show up early. You had to wait in line and you had to have your shit ready. And if you messed up on one document, then you had to come back another day. Every day that I would show up to that courthouse, tried to get the support that I needed to just wade through the language, the paperwork, the documents, and and all these things. I was like, it took weeks and weeks. Really, guys, I'm droning on about this because doing this was pivotal for my courage. This was pivotal for me to take that boot that was on my neck, literally like push it away. It wasn't until my court date that I really leveled up because it was a no contest. He didn't even show up. All of that was bluffing, blustering, fear-mongering to keep me compliant, to keep me in my place. And I'm like, wait a minute. He was telling me, I'm taking the kids from you. You're never gonna be nothing, never gonna amount to anything. The grass is not greener on the other side. I'm just making it sound very nice for you guys because it wasn't coming out like that. It was horrible, horrific, angry words that I was hearing all the time. No contest, I win. I get everything that I put in those documents. And let me tell you, I put some stuff in those documents. From that moment, feel like I slayed a dragon. I conquered something huge inside of me, but I also conquered him. And from that moment, the dynamic shifted. It just shifted because I had all the legal ramifications. It took about 6, 7, maybe even 8 months for me to go through all the whole process, which, like I said, I did on my own. After that, he had not a leg to stand on. I'm going into such detail because just even taking me back, now it's been like, I don't know, 18 years or something like that. I can still feel it. I can still smell the courthouse. I can still feel the papers. These things feel like I'm right back there. Because I'm right back there, I can say without a doubt, I was so proud of myself. I was like, T, wait a minute. He didn't even show up at the courthouse. He didn't even show up. Some of the things that we build in our head to be so scary, they are scary until you face it. And once you face it, you don't know what your outcome's gonna be, but in my case, this was my outcome. Fast forward to my divorce and leaving my ex-husband and all of that. I was like, this dude, he don't know how strong I am. I've had a kid at 18, had to kick this other dude to the curb and who's trying to like threaten to use my kids against me. I'm broke, I don't have no money. I am not that same broken young lady anymore. When I made the decision to divorce and to leave, it wasn't a light decision. I had been fighting. I had done all the things that I could think of to make this work. At the end of the day, I had to choose me. The basic rubric for myself is, what would you tell May? What would you tell Zaya? Like, what would you tell your babies if they were in this relationship? If they had a partner who was treating them in a way that was breaking them down bit by bit every single day? What would you say? Honestly, I would have scooped my babies up. I would have been like, you don't need to see you no more. It became crystal clear, like what I needed to do. And from the moment that I was starting to have these thoughts of like, this isn't gonna work, I don't see this being my future. It takes a lot longer. Once you have that thought, like, what are you gonna do with it? How are you gonna extract yourself from those first little inklings to when I actually left? What I do know is, since then, I've unlocked a new me. I feel like I'm living for me. I will be 48 in a couple months. It's blowing my mind that I'm gonna be 48. I made the right choice for me and for my happiness and for my future and for my longevity. I don't think I need to apologize for that. I won't apologize for that. Not that anyone is asking me to, but it is my nature to apologize for things and to want to be very forgiving and all the things. Yes, you can play nice, but you can still advocate for yourself and still protect yourself and ensure your own emotional safety. I will say, because I tell everyone this all the time, this is not a story of bitterness, of disdain and hatred. I feel like as soon as I extracted myself, like physically removed myself from my ex-husband's home, my whole world shifted. And this is gonna sound crazy, but it literally shifted overnight. I made some really cognitive, very aware thoughts and commitments to myself at that time. And the first thing that I told myself is, I'm not gonna let you sit, be sad, alone. What you need right now is to build a community. You need to find your own little village. As I'm a content creator, I use that as an opportunity to meet my peers and to meet people who work in the same industry as myself. And I was like, you're going to go to events, you're gonna do dinners, you're gonna do lunches, whatever it takes, you are going to get past this. The more I was determined to do that, that is exactly what happened. I cannot tell you how many amazing women have lifted me up, touched my life, and made me, okay, let me just dry my little happy tears, is what I'm calling them, because when I think about the beautiful women that have come into my life, it's remarkable. The community that I was yearning, the connection that I needed, it was so overwhelming. and so abundant and so beautiful. I can only tell you story after story after story and connection after connection of people who, they don't know me, they don't have a reason to bring so much joy and love into my life, but they did. And each time I've met someone who was welcoming, gracious, warm, it just like healed me a little bit more every single encounter. Like I said, it's been a little over 3 years, and I am telling you, when I go out now, I feel my community, my peers, everywhere I go, I know someone, and everyone is so loving and so supportive and so kind. I feel so loved. It is a really remarkable journey. I think when I talk about getting out there, hitting those streets, like meeting people, in my relationship with my ex-husband, he was quite controlling about me going out, who I was talking to, and all those things. And it was just like, I got to the point where I'm like, why even go anywhere or do anything if it's going to upset your partner? You know what I mean? This was the complete opposite of that. This was not about necessarily just the socializing element, but really connecting and finding like-minded, lovely, funny, witty, charming, radiant queens out there who I could relate to. I love it. I absolutely love it. It was very intentional. I did set a strong intention for that to happen, and I put the work into it. I didn't give up. I just kept putting myself out there. I'm going places all alone. I don't know anyone. I need to generate connections and community, and I did that. That was such a huge part of me finding joy for myself. Furthermore, it also allowed for some healing to begin to take shape and form in my heart, and it has been very healing for me. Okay, so we talked about the community. That was an intention that I set for myself. Another intention that I set for myself, because I knew that this was going to be a journey. Healing isn't linear, right? Some days you feel better than others. You think everything's okay, something comes back up. So another thing that was really important to me recovering from this relationship was, obviously, I'm a self-care queen. I love taking care of myself, and this is something that I cultivated very strongly when I left the girl's dad. The power of a shower. For me, there was a brief time after I left the girl's father where a period of depression. I found it very hard to just get out of the bed, very hard to do basic things. And so one thing that I did do every day was take a shower and tried my best to like comb my hair and things like that. When you see me to this day and all my shower rituals and all the things, I developed those rituals, habits, routines when I was 30, 31, 32, 33. That is what saved me every day, just getting up and taking a shower, because most days that's all I can manage. Fast forward to now, today, that was definitely something that I leaned into to try and persevere over any melancholy or any self-doubt or self-esteem or all those things that start with my head. Like, I'm trying to feel better about myself. I want to feel beautiful, want to feel alive and vibrant. And so for me, I need to wash the body, put the hydrating creams on and all the things. Taking care of myself is a part of my healing. And that is something that I can do every day as a gift to myself. 100%. Like, self-care is a part of it. And then another component that was so crucial to my recovering from just all the things, like moving. I left that house with nothing, like anything that wasn't truly mine. Had to buy a new bed. My daughters and I moved into our new place with like nothing, literally rebuilding. I even had to give the car back. I didn't have even a car. Just rebuilding all those things. I knew that that just takes time. And another thing that was going to help me, besides it's going to take time, was my best friend. I was denied access to having a really close relationship, physical, like seeing her all the time in the way that I would like to have, because that was, again, something that didn't work for my ex-husband. And so it created such turmoil and jealousy, basically. So I promised myself, I set another intention. We're not going to spend our birthdays apart anymore. And I'm going to spend every Christmas with her too. And so I moved to my new place late summer, early fall. And that very winter, my daughters and I, we went to her home, and she lives in Texas. And we spent our first Christmas with her family. I cannot even properly describe how healing that was, to have a Christmas that was full of joy, love, silliness, and food, and gifting, and warmth, and laughter. I was like, wait, Christmas can be like a holiday that's not dramatic and scary, not something to look forward to. Carol, my best friend, and I, we literally like tear up every time we think about it, because she has, been my friend since we were, 21, around there. She's just had to see me go through a lot. It was such a beautiful thing. Oh my gosh, we love Christmas now. We look forward to Christmas. The next thing that really put my healing journey over the top was, I saw this thing on IG the other day, is like, you need to plan your happiness. I started planning moments of joy. I put it on the calendar. I already know where my moments of joy are coming. I find moments of joy every day through all the little spaces in between, but I mean like really intentional moments of joy, like trips or special outings and things like that. I mean, I put it on the calendar. It is on the calendar. I already know when I'm getting my nails done, my massage, where my next trip is. If I'm having a tea date, me seeing it like physically on the calendar, it gives me the stamina and the mental fortitude to persevere to get to that moment of joy. I cannot implore you enough. It is so, so important to plan joy, to plan happiness. And it doesn't have to be costly or anything like that. It's just to honor that you deserve to be happy. And furthermore, that you are going to follow through. It's on the calendar. You've carved out the time, and you will not accept no for an answer. Do not disappoint yourself. Do not let yourself down. Stick to it, plan for it. And the more that you do that, the more that it aligns, the money aligns, or the timing aligns, the weather aligns, all that shit aligns. I set these intentions and I say, I'm gonna work towards this. This is what I want to happen. The universe wants me to win. I did a video on this. Literally, there's a conspiracy for me to win. And I think it's because for the first time in my life, I'm choosing me, and I'm choosing what is gonna make Tennille happy. I do recognize I am in a time of privilege in the sense that I've done the hard work of raising my daughters. I have removed myself from a relationship that was literally dragging me down. But that was hard work. I've already done my hard work in all those other categories. I'm like, why can't I have a time where I am pouring into me, pouring into discovering who I am and what will bring me longevity of happiness? And I believe in love. I just know that the right love is out there for me. I'm excited for it. In the meantime, I have my community, I have my business, I have my daughters, I have my Carol, I have all my little moments of joy all mapped out and planned out, and they're always popping up, and friends messaging me or whatever it may happen. I get to work with amazing brands and travel with them. I feel so blessed, and I feel like God has been waiting for this moment for me. He has always known that this was going to happen for me, and I just get to see it all unfold. And I feel like you all get to be a witness of that journey, and I feel very connected to you all. I feel very connected to my communities out there who have been with me for years and years, because I've been creating content for a very long time. And so while this isn't a side of myself that I typically open up about, I did want to be very candid as possible without disrespecting or invading someone else's privacy. These are things that have happened to me, and I just want to be more transparent and more vulnerable with you all, because I know I am not alone. In the last 2 weeks, I've talked to 4 women who have had situations that were not only parallel, identical to mine, and some of them have been even more painful and disturbing than mine. Children are involved, homes are involved, lives, all these things. But in the last 2 weeks, I've already talked to 4 people that I know and love that are in my community. I know this conversation that I've just shared with you is going to resonate. I know there's someone else who needs to know there is the other side, that there is a journey. Time does help. I just want you to know that I am rooting for you and that I love you. I want to give you a hug and send my love to anyone who needs it. Please, we can continue conversation in the comments, or if there's anything like that, you can message me directly on Instagram. Like if you have anything you want to ask me personally, I don't mind having a little sidebar conversation if there's something more that I could give you from my own journey and personal story. It's a unique time of life for myself, and I want us all to feel loved and feel valued. Thank you so much for joining me. I feel like my emotions are right on the surface. I feel like I need to exhale. I need to finish my Earl Grey. Again, thank you for letting me share my journey a bit with you and letting me be a little tearful and emotional with you. I love you very much, and I will see you darlings on the next Tea Time. Cheers.